Hi, here's another installment of Another Way. Again, this is Lucia. And what I'd like to talk about today is what is A Course in Miracles? Again, we're going to be talking about different topics within the context of A Course in Miracles. But we will also cover those topics within other contexts. The point is not to proselytize any kind of path or book or ideology, but to help us take a closer look at our lives and different aspects of it and see if there's another way that we could be approaching things if things aren't working right. Now, if things are working just perfectly for you and everything's groovy, I'd say turn off the video and enjoy. If things are not really working out, if there are any issues in your life, then maybe this may be a little helpful for you, and would love for that to be your experience, because that's what we're here for, to share our own experiences and hopefully through that to help others learn another way of living in this world. To begin with, I'd like to discuss a little bit about what A Course in Miracles is. And almost everyone that has read the Course or has picked it up at one time or another is familiar with its background, how it started, where it came, and very, very seldom what it says and what it teaches. So I'm not going to get into that in great depth in this video, but I want to give you just a little background about what A Course in Miracles is. It is a book. It's about close to 1,300 pages, and it is divided in 3 sections. So it has a text and then a workbook for students, and then the back section is called the Manual for Teachers. One of the things that the Course in Miracles teaches is, number one, what miracles are, and it totally redefines the concept of a miracle. So a miracle, from the point of view of the Course, is not an act of defying the rules of the world, like the rules of gravity or the law of gravity, or any of the standard rules that the world lives by. So that is the traditional definition of miracle. The Course in Miracles defines a miracle as a change of mind, as a change in how one sees something, whereas previously we saw it as something to condemn, something negative. We could have been seeing it as an attack. We could have seen someone as an enemy. All those negative aspects are ways of seeing. So what the Course in Miracles calls a miracle is changing your mind to now, where you once saw attack, now you see a call for help. To where once you saw suffering, you now see an opportunity to bless and to love and to share. To where once you felt mistreated, you see that maybe you are responsible for being in the position that you're in, and you have the power to change it. And more than anything, the miracle is learning that what I thought was done to me didn't really happen. And that is the greatest lesson. To learn to be wrong and then be happy because of it. It is a very interesting way of defining miracles. Basically a shift in perception. That's what it is. But when that happens, your entire life and your overall perspective of life change, and things just happen differently. Again, because you've changed your perception. So whereas you used to perceive a world of vengeance, a world of pain, a world of suffering and attack, because your perception is changing, you are able to connect to inner peace more easily. You develop an inner kindness, an inner peacefulness, and basically forgiveness, which is really what miracle is, to forgive, to change your mind from condemnation to forgiveness. And once you go to that mindset, you develop, again, inner connection with your peaceful self, with your loving self, with your kinder, gentler self. So it is said that A Course in Miracles is working for you. If within your life experience you begin to see yourself, and others may notice that you are becoming a kinder, gentler person, a more loving person, a more generous person, a more patient person, a less angry person, a less critical person, right? So all these changes happen internally within you as you integrate the teachings of the Course in your personal life. So the second aspect of the Course, one is miracles or learning to forgive. The second aspect is then integrating that into your relationships. So basically transforming all of your relationships, integrating the Course's principles into your life. These relationships are transformed because you're no longer seeing people the way you were seeing them before. It is not just about people, it's about things, yourself, any relationship. So it's really about transforming relationships. You have relationships constantly, at all times, while you're asleep, while you're awake. You have relationships with humans, with people, with family members, with friends, with neighbors, with the person that you bump into in the elevator. That's a momentary relationship, but it is a relationship. And you can make that relationship either a moment of condemnation and anger or frustration, or you can make it into what the Course calls the holy instant, which is the moment when you see someone with absolute sinlessness on their part or on your part. You just completely see them as innocent. So one of the examples it gives is that let's say that you're bumping, someone bumps into you, a child, and you could at that moment scold them and basically make them feel guilty and make them feel pretty bad, or you could smile and walk away and let them know nothing happened. So that is really a very small aspect or an example of how to put in practice A Course in Miracles. Is, do you want to walk around condemning other people in yourself, or do you want to walk around in peace and letting go of the fears and the hates and all of these grudges and all these negative self-deprecating thoughts that we have? So it's learning to choose a different way of living, not in the outer world, but in the inner world. So that's really and truly what A Course in Miracles is about. Now, what it teaches is so powerful. The material it's really out of this world. I mean, when people read it and get into it, it's very difficult to say that this book was written by a human being, because it really is otherworldly. It's tremendously deep, clear, and it really does connect you with very deeper levels of yourself. And so, because it is such wonderful and powerful material, it tends to draw many people. And also some of the material sometimes may seem complex, because it does redefine a lot of terminology for you. And sometimes you may feel tempted to try to find help with other people. And so you will see groups of students of the Course in Miracles forming, and there are thousands of them all over the world. The Course has sold all over the world. It has been published in over 18 languages now, and it has sold millions. So there are millions of people out there in the world reading it in every language. Right now, in all the languages that the Course has been translated into, what it does is it covers 99% of the population of the earth. So just about everyone on the planet right now can read A Course in Miracles and benefit from it. So it is a very interesting piece. It's a masterpiece of the spiritual literature of the 20th and the 21st century. But it's not for everyone, just like every other path. Not every path is for everyone. And if it is your path, you will recognize it instantly. If it isn't, you will just walk away. And there's no issue with that either, because the Course itself says that it is not the only way. It says that it is but one of the thousands of forms of the universal curriculum. So there is a universal curriculum in which we all learn basically to get along and to recognize love by removing the blocks to its awareness. So the Course is basically a course in removing these blocks and awakening to the reality of love, which is your true identity. And it teaches you to uncover those blocks by recognizing where they come from why they're there. And it is a very practical way of changing, again, your inner life, which consequently sometimes tends to change your outer life, because another thing it teaches is that the outer is a reflection of the inner. And therefore, you are going to be experiencing some changes as a result of your changes in perception, your changes of mind. So that's just my quick summary on what A Course in Miracles is, at least what it has been to me. And I think my husband David will get on the video at some point and share with you also his experience. So hopefully you'll join us for that as well. And we'll continue with the next video, and we'll get into other topics in relation to both A Course in Miracles and other ways of looking at different things. Thank you for joining me.